4 hours of sleep, and you're fresh. Sounds like a scam. But here's the trick. Most people's problem isn't how long they sleep. It's that out of 8 hours in bed, they actually sleep 5. The rest is tossing, waking up, and lying in the dark with open eyes. There's an exact name for this: sleep efficiency. It's the percentage of time in bed that you actually spend sleeping. And it's this percentage that separates those who wake up wrecked after 8 hours from those who feel great after 6. Today, how recent science suggests not sleeping more, but sleeping smarter. The most popular sleep advice is sleep 8 hours. Doctors repeat it, fitness bloggers repeat it, productivity books repeat it. But here's what's strange. When scientists measured how much healthy adults actually sleep, not how long they lie in bed, but how much they actually sleep, the result was unexpected. In 2023, a review in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews showed the average sleep efficiency among healthy adults is about 85%. That means out of 8 hours in bed, a person sleeps 6 hours and 48 minutes. Over an hour goes to falling asleep, micro-awakenings, and just lying there without sleeping. And for people with insomnia, efficiency drops to 60 to 70%. They spend 8 hours in bed, but sleep 5. And in the morning, they don't understand why they feel so bad. After all, there was enough time. Here's the trap. We're used to measuring sleep by time in bed. But time in bed and time asleep are different things. A person who goes to bed at 11 and gets up at 7 is sure they slept 8 hours. But if they tossed and turned for an hour before falling asleep and woke up 3 times during the night, they really slept 6, maybe 5.5. And the problem isn't a lack of time. It's that the time was spent inefficiently. Sleep efficiency is calculated simply. You divide sleep time by time in bed and multiply by 100. The norm for a healthy person is above 85%. Elite athletes and military personnel hit 90 to 95. If yours is below 80, that's a signal. And here's where a method appears that sounds absurd. To sleep better, sleep less. This isn't a joke. It's sleep restriction therapy, one of the most researched techniques in the history of sleep medicine. The idea is simple. Let's say you spend 8 hours in bed, but actually sleep 5.5. So your sleep window shrinks to 5.5 hours. Not 8, 5.5. You go to bed later and wake up at the same time. Or go to bed at the same time and wake up earlier. The key: total time in bed equals how much you actually sleep. What happens next? The first few nights are tough. You want to sleep, but don't let yourself go to bed early. Your body builds up adenosine, a molecule that accumulates in the brain during wakefulness and creates sleep pressure. The longer you stay awake, the more adenosine, the stronger your brain wants to shut down. Caffeine blocks exactly this. It sits on the same receptors and prevents the brain from feeling tired. And when you finally lie down, with high sleep pressure, your brain falls asleep fast. Not in 40 minutes, but in 5 to 10. Doesn't wake up during the night. Drops into deep sleep immediately. Efficiency jumps from 60 to 70% to 90 and above. After a week, if efficiency is consistently above 90%, you expand the sleep window by 15 minutes. You go to bed a bit earlier. Another week, another 15 minutes. And so on until you find the point where you sleep enough, while still falling asleep quickly and not waking up. Does this work? A 2025 meta-analysis in the Journal of Sleep Research gathered 9 randomized controlled trials. 1,239 participants. The result: sleep efficiency improved by 0.91 standard deviations compared to the control group. That's a large effect. For comparison, sleeping pills typically show 0.3 to 4. A 2024 network meta-analysis went further and compared all components of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. The conclusion: sleep restriction is the single most effective component. More effective than relaxation. More effective than sleep hygiene. More effective than cognitive restructuring. On its own, without everything else, it already works. And in Britain in 2023, results of a major clinical trial were published in the Lancet. Nurses delivered 4 sessions of sleep restriction therapy to primary care patients. Not psychologists. Not sleep specialists. Nurses. And the result: significant improvement across all key measures: insomnia severity, sleep quality, daytime functioning. The effect held at 6 months. Why this works at the brain level? When you spend significantly more time in bed than you sleep, the brain stops associating the bed with sleep. The bed becomes a place for anxiety, thought spiraling, lying with your phone. The brain enters vigilance mode, not shutdown mode. Sleep restriction restores the link. Bed equals sleep. Nothing more. And when this link is restored, falling asleep becomes automatic. Here's important context. In Japan, there's a practice called inamuri, sleeping while present. A person falls asleep in a meeting, on the train, on a bench, and it's not considered laziness. On the contrary, it's a sign that the person works so hard they're exhausted. Japanese culture recognizes, if sleep pressure is high, the body will shut down on its own, and that's normal. Modern science says roughly the same thing. If you truly want to sleep, you'll fall asleep in minutes. The problem starts when you lie down without real sleep pressure, without enough adenosine. Then you lie there waiting for sleep that doesn't come. How to apply this? You don't need a doctor. You don't need devices. You need a sleep diary and a calculator. First, keep a diary for 2 weeks. Write down 4 numbers every morning. When you went to bed, when you fell asleep, how many times you woke up, and how many minutes you were awake during the night, when you got up for good. This will give you the real picture. Most people discover their efficiency is 70 to 80%, not 90, as they thought. Second, calculate your average actual sleep time over 2 weeks. Let's say 6 hours. That's your starting window. Fix your wake-up time, say 7 a.m. That means you go to bed at 1 a.m., not earlier. Even if you feel sleepy at 11, minimum is 5 hours. Don't compress below that. It's important for safety. Third, every week, calculate your efficiency. If it's above 90%, go to bed 15 minutes earlier. If it's between 85 and 90, keep the current window. If it's below 85, compress by another 15 minutes. The goal is to find the minimum window with maximum efficiency, then slowly expand. Fourth, daytime naps are a tool, but with conditions. A 1995 NASA study showed 26 minutes of daytime sleep boost alertness by 54% and performance by 34%. But there's a rule. The nap shouldn't be longer than 30 minutes and shouldn't be later than 3 p.m. Otherwise it eats into adenosine, reduces evening sleep pressure, and you're back lying in bed without sleep. Fifth, stimulus anchors. The bed is only for sleep. Not for reading, not for your phone, not for shows, not for work. If you can't fall asleep for 20 minutes, get up, go to another room, do something boring, and return only when you feel sleepy. This is called stimulus control, the second strongest component after sleep restriction. What to avoid? Don't go to bed earlier than planned, even if you're tired. Don't compensate a bad night with long morning sleep. Don't hide behind sleep tracking apps. They show dozens of metrics, but none replaces a simple diary with 4 numbers. And most importantly, don't confuse sleep restriction with sleep deprivation. Deprivation is when you don't let yourself sleep at all. Restriction is when you compress the window so that every hour in bed is an hour of sleep. How to measure progress? After 2 to 3 weeks, you should fall asleep in 10 to 15 minutes instead of 30 to 40. Wake up during the night 0 to 1 times instead of 3 to 4. Efficiency above 85%. And subjectively, waking up with the feeling of I slept well rather than I need another half hour. 3 things to remember. First, sleep efficiency matters more than duration. 6 hours at 95% efficiency is better than 8 at 65. Second, sleep restriction works better than sleeping pills, and this is proven by meta-analyses. Third, to sleep soundly, you need to truly want to sleep. Sleep pressure is your main ally, not your enemy. This week, try one thing. Write down 4 numbers in the morning. Bedtime, fell asleep, awakenings, got up. Calculate your efficiency. Just find out your number. That's the first step. Sleep is one of those topics where the gap between what everyone thinks and what actually works is enormous. On this channel, more breakdowns like this, how real mechanisms of productivity work and what the data says about them. Subscribe if you want more methods backed by research, not intuition.